community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. Certainly mighty proud to say, I'm always mighty proud to say. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are gold. Have you cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye? Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leap to yourself from a three-rail billiard shot? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a fault line game, I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that slog. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. Say first is a little medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And you're listening to some big out-of-town jazzer here to tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sat down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch, make your blood boil, like you said. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, River City used to be frittering away. They say your young men will be fritter. Frittering away there noontime, suppertime, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled and scream your patch to the beefsteak pounder. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with a sister and envy on a Saturday night and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the Knickerbocker. Sure tell young ones, being in the pool all window after school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. No, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're loafing around that hall? They be trying out beavers, trying out Cubans, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beans, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up a telltale breakfast. Sunset, one fine night. They leave the pool hall, heading for the dance of the army. Libertine men and scarlet women and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble. Oh, we got trouble. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Our children's gonna have trouble. Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in a corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes out of Captain Billy's whiz bag? Are certain words creeping into his conversation?
sir.
Nor anybody else. River City next. Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods,
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
cash for the noggins and the biggins and the firstings,
Cash for the hogshead, casket, and demi-john.
Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly papers. What do you talk? 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 Where do you get it? What do you talk?
You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker. You can bicker, you can talk, you can talk. You can talk, bicker, bicker. You can talk all you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Flights a Model T Ford made the trouble, made the people wanna go. Wanna get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles to the county seat.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna picture him as a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? At the Model T at all. Take a gator at the store, at the Mondrian store, at the present day store, at the present day Mondrian departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk, you can bicker. You can talk, bicker. You can talk all you want it, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Why is the union biscuit? The union. The package and the package and the package. The union, the biscuit and an airtight, sanitary package and the cracker barrel. Obsolete. Thunder bell went out the window when mail pouch cut blood Tom by the stove. Changed the approach of the travel and the salesman. Made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't, but you gotta know the territory.
Gone.
Gone with the hogshead, casket, demi-john. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk can. Gone with the tub and the pail and the tin.
Ever meet a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
No! Just a minute. Never heard of any salesman. Hill, now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory?
What's the fellow's line?
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line?
Or the cracker barrel being obsolete. Or the you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about your line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang me, bell ring, big hawk, red go, rip roar. Every time a bullseye sales, that's what the hell.
What's his line? He's a fake, and he doesn't know the territory.
What do you talk?
So what? He's a music man, but he sells clarinets. The kids in the town, the big trombone, the rat-a-tat drums, big brass bass, and the piccolo uniform, too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat and the big red stripe running.
Well, I don't know much about bear, but I do know you can't make a limits on the big trombone. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and you'll never choose one.
No, fella's old band, boy band. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers, and he pucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him.
Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City. Across state lines in Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Secrets illegal in this state.
War. Now that you're off, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never met him in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive automatically gets taught and feted and rode out of city limits on a rail.
But why should he get rode out on the rail?
Because in order to sell uniforms, instruction books, and band instruments, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play. Well, the four-man kids into a band, with himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. He can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. Why, when I catch up with that swinging two-bit number, I'll squeal him so loud.
Wow, you're mad, Charlie. She'll like to be with you when you catch up with that fella.
Well, won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Not even the great Professor Harold Hill would try to sell to these neck-bone hog guys out here. Or, gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try. Don't believe I caught your name. Don't believe I dropped it.
Cousin Will never come. Aunt Bertha never come. You're Aunt Bertha's dead. She wouldn't have come anyway.
We could be cold as a falling thermometers in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so fine on stuff that we can stand touching noses for a week at a time and never say eye to eye. But we'll give you our shirts and a bag to go with it. If your girl should happen to
So what the heck? You will get glad to have you with us, even though we may not ever mention it again.
you really ought to know Iowa, oh my Iowa, the music boys and more Marshalltown, Mason City, Kilton, Kingsley. Oh, take Iowa, try.
Mr. Squires? Yes, I'm interested in a rig for Sunday, if you could accommodate me.
And I expected I'd see the man in charge of hiring rigs. He was late, as usual.
Hey, Gregory! Marcellus! You old son of a gun! Oh, what in the world?
Greg,
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
but Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you was coming?
I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how'd I know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me.
Too many cliches the way you work. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable garden. Ethel Toppelmeyer, boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I always knew you'd come to no good.
What's the new pitch? You're not back in the band business. I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
What happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No!
Now give me the lowdown here, Mars.
Oh, you'll never get anywhere in the band business with these stubborn irons, Greg. Besides, we got a stuck-up music teacher who will expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher, she's librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
I will. How are you going to start the pitch?
Oh, same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. And then my next step will be to save your town from the serious trouble it's in.
River City isn't in any trouble.
Then I'll have to create some. I'll have to create a desperate need for a boys band. You remember? No, what's new around here? What can I use?
Nothing. Except the billiard brothers just put in a new pool table.
They never had a pool table before?
No, only billiards.
That'll do. I'll see you later, Mars. Oh, and don't forget, music teacher.
Music teachers.
You're Mr. Dunlop?
Yup.
Well, either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are unaware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player. Certainly mighty proud to say, I'm always mighty proud to say, I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are gold. Have you cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye? Did you ever take and try to give an ironclad leap to yourself from a three-rail billiard shot? But just as I say it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a fault line game, I say that any boob can take and shove a ball in a park. And I call that sloth. The first big step on the road to the depths of degradé. I say first it's a little medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And you're listening to some big out-of-town Jasper here to tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they sat down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on Dan Patch, make your blood boil, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum with a capital B and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. And all week long, the River City used to be frittering away. They say your young men will be frittering. Frittering away there noontime, several times short time to get the ball in the pocket. Never mind getting dandelions pulled and scream your passage to the beefsteak pounded. Never mind pumping any water till your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbockers. Sure tell young ones, being in the pool all window after school, you got trouble. Folks, right here in River City. Trouble with capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. No, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm going to be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while we're loafing around that hall? They'll be trying out beaver, trying out Cuba, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beans, and bragging all about how they're going to cover up a telltale breakfast. Sense one fine day. They leave the pool hall, heading for the dance of the army, libertine men and scarlet women, and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter with the arms of a jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble! Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school. Our children's gonna have trouble. Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes out of Captain Billy's whiz bag? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like, well, like swell, and so's your old man. Well, it's so, my friends, you got trouble, right here in River City, with a capital T that rhymes with P and that stands for pool. We surely got trouble, right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule. Our children's gonna have trouble. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15-number ball is the devil's tool. Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. With the T, I'm with P, and it stands for pool. Did you tap your...
No.
Didn't I need
No.
to? Well, I'll only be in town for a short while.
Good.
Yes, Mama. Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama.
Find you now your exercises. I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a strange man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I never saw him before.
Well, did you say anything?
Tried.
Well, did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Don't dawdle, Amaryllis.
So, do-la-re-ti me a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
Yes, Mama.
departure to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of river city people and taking it all too much to heart.
Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library is entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I cannot make concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all the other high-falutin to Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind us saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
I haven't changed the subject I was talking about, that stranger.
Stranger.
With a suitcase you made me your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I allow to come match you now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind me saying so, there's not a man alive who could hope that you're up. That's what I call when you say, kind of know what dream, opting for yourself, and your Irish imagination, your Irish summers, and your library full of books.
Well, that was the best thing I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear. Winthrop, it's after dark.
Now, is that any way to walk into the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from my boy.
There's your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I'd especially like it very much if you come, Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to a party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it.
No, thank you, Amaryllis.
Amaryllis! Amaryllis! He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not only because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind. He doesn't talk very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, we all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
My darling, don't cry. You have lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never. I'll let him an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Mary. Can I play my crossy piece?
May
May I play my crossy piece?
You may.
See, without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know. But for the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play a crossing piece.
Now I may play my crossy piece.
Sleep tight, my someone, sleep tight, my
thankful to my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, for leading the singing. And to J.C. Squires for his fine stereopticon slides. And to Ethel Toffelmar, our fine piano player. As mayor of River City, I welcome you River citizens to the 4th of July exercises set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium on account of the weather. Or score. Or score. The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Oh, the members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Wadhan girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle, my wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, will take a leading part. Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who's a disgrace to our city. 4 score and 7 years ago. The Payne's fireworks spectacle, Last Days of Pompeii, will take place provided the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out in Madison Picnic Park in the Far Meadow, across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette pretty fair?
Sure did, Edward. That's why we all prepared for the storm.
The Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know that, JC.
You wouldn't last long in the bank and it's been accurate most of the time.
I'm not just a minute. Let's have order. Order.
Seems the number 8 is late again tonight.
I make her early. She's late, all right.
She's right on time. Smile if you watch.
Stop thinking in public.
All in the world I was trying to say was a
Never mind. Or score.
There's a pool table in town.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Now just a minute.
Well, is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to proceed with the exercises?
You don't want any more exercises till we get the pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children.
Protect our children.
Resist sin and corruption.
Resist sin and corruption.
Smite that devil and keep our young boys pure.
They're boys.
Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with the trouble, friends, with the weight of my hand this very hand. Please observe me if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize the River City Boys Band. Oh, think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with the gold trombone? Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor walls come a-tumbling down. Oh, band don't do it, my friends. Oh, yes, sing me a boys band. Do you hear me? I say River City's gotta have a boys band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand, and River City's gonna have a boys band. As sure as the Lord made little green apples, and that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred, and you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals. You'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets, tan-ta-da, and you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Livermore, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade, with 110 cornets close at hand. They were following rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper-bottomed symphony and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell euphoniums and big bassoons, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise the full octave higher than the sky. 76 trombones hit the counterpoint, 110 cornets blazed the way. To the rhythm of march, 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 all the kids began to march, and their marching still right today.
action. That man is a spellbinder. I haven't seen Iowa folk get so excited since the night that Frank Goff and Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind, I want his credentials. From that hoodlum, almost blew up Mrs. Jim.
Thank you, Professor. Have to make an example out of this one. Ringleader, you know? What he does, the game does.
Keely Clyde, let me go.
You wild kid, yeah, hanging around my eldest girl? His father's one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, yeah, tagging down Main Street after my eldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We was just walking together, Keely Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you was doing. My little crazy senior. Now I'm going to warn you. You keep away from my eldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing, over at City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Oh, Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough. Probably got his game winning outside.
I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Oh, gee, Professor, that's for the little kids.
I'm not talking about playing in it. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever done anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple times.
You did? Then you're my man. Do you realize that nobody has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? There's no place to hang the music.
Gee, Clyde, where do I could get some wire from?
Look in your cellar. That's usually where people keep wire. Oh, and Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady. Oh, miss, what's her name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea she was beckoning to me. God.
Do you know Tommy Gillis?
Oh, well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. I would like you to escort the young lady home.
only except I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. God.
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
God.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fella. You made a couple mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor half has stolen that billiard parlor and the new pool table.
Oh. Then what was my mistake?
That's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates?
Nothing of the
We
kind.
need letters and papers.
They can put up a bond. Wait. What am I hearing? Say ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't see young men at
All
that.
right. Talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
You see? Singing is only sustained talk. Now you. Now you right here. Now you, sir. Ice cream. Ladies, from now on, I'm going to see one of these men without the other three.
Professor, you're wrong. Why, those men have hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
How can there be
Any sin insincere? Where is the good in goodbye? In goodbye. Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify. Mystify, tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear. While one single star shines above, how can there be any sin insincere? Aren't we sincerely in love? Oh, we're in love.
I don't suppose you live alone? I've got some wonderful caramels over at the hotel. If you just
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the streets like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class of odd 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town, and I think it's only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there that may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Gregory. Oh, hi, Marcellus. And don't call me Greg.
How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. 8 out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did? Oh boy, did you kind of swath tonight. For a minute even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like you used to imitate that band concert fellow back in Joplin.
Yeah! Oh, kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days. Just keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? But I thought it only used to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
It still does, but it takes 4 weeks for the uniform.
Oh, no, Greg. You haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. Not for any 4 weeks.
Mark.
You don't even know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the think system, where you don't bother with the notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people will want to hear the music. You'll have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they forget about everything else. Well, at least long enough for me to collect and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. And I have a time to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, gonna line yourself up with a little canoodling?
Well,
say, I could fix you up with Ethel's sister. A lovely girl. Teaches Sunday school.
no wide-eyed, eager, wholesome Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of girl spins webs no spider ever. Now listen, boy. A girl who trades on all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only affirmative she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No golden, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, for no Diana do I play fawn. I can tell you that right now. I snarl, I hiss. How can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, I fizz, for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheer, I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sadder but wiser girl for me. No bride, a blushing, breathless baby doll baby. No, sir, that kind of child ties and knots no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on a more adult romance. No dewy young miss who keeps resisting all the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, for she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. I flinch, I shy, when the lass with the delicate air goes by. I smile and I grin, when the gal with a touch of sin walks in. I hope and I pray for Hester to win just one more A. The sadder but wiser girl, the girl for me. The sadder but wiser girl for me.
Our mayor's wife. Oh, isn't it exciting, lady?
I couldn't say. I could not say. Oh no, I could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh yes, I'm reticent.
Of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my music plans include a committee on the dance and... No, wait. Wait! Do that again, Mrs. Shin! Oh, your foot! The way you raised it just now!
Oh, well, I have a bunion there that bothers.
Oh, with grace! With natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Missed it, here!
You must accept the chairmanship for the ladies' auxiliary for the classic dance. Mustn't she, ladies?
Oh, yes, you will!
Every move you make, Mrs. Shin, this speaks to Sarge. Will you? Will you? Oh, say yes, Mrs. Shin.
You Lady McKechnie Shin. Ah, well, that is dancing well.
Then you accept?
Yes, indeed, and I would like
Thank
to...
you. Now, the young lady who plays the piano. Marion Peru, I believe. After all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, chip, chip. Talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, chip, chip, chip. Talk a lot.
friend in this town till she came here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison? Madison Gymnasium? Madison Picnic Park? Madison Hospital? That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say, show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city, but he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh yes, that woman made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged guarantee. She had a golden glint in her eye and a silver voice to counterfeit grin. Just melt her down and you'll reveal a lump of lead as cold as steel hair. For a woman's heart should be.
He left from the city, the library building, but he left all the books to her.
Chaucer! Rabelais! Balzac!
Just a minute, Mr. Hill. We need your credentials. Of course. I have just what you need over at the hotel. If you just come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you now. It's all right. I know everything. And it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
You were probably very young. Anybody can make a mistake.
What?
No explanations. No apologies. Please. I'll only be in town for a short while, and the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what would you like to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
The librarian. You're not listening, Marion. Look. Marion. Marvelous. 6 Sealies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big lassie with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No! Shh!
What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, oh, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I would lie on the floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam Librarian. What can I say, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, could I help it if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion? Madam Librarian. But in the moonlight, a man could sing it. In the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song with the moonlight coming along. But when I tried in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world, it's accepts his unforgivable sin, and he talking out loud and me like Reverend, such is Madam Librarian. To tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause I can never win. For the civilized world accepts his unforgivable sin, and he talking out loud with them, he librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. Committee meets on Tuesday nights. Marshmallow. Well, Tommy, we've had a pretty good morning. 11 sales out of 12 tries. I'll tell you what. It's almost noon. You better go home and get some supper. I'll try a couple by myself.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Just a minute. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Why, no, Mayor Shin. I collect doorbells, and this particular specimen has an unusual tone quality.
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Why haven't you been down at City Hall with your papers?
Oh, I must have just missed you. Mr. Mayor. Oh, no, your hand!
What?
That spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, it is. What does that mean?
It's that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Oh, is that good?
Good. It means that America has finally produced an artist that can flugel the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Oh, I see. Say, how can I get one of those horns?
Sign here.
Oh, thanks. I think I could have missed this whole... I haven't got any, son! You unscrupulous flew by night? You want to fight with it? You be down at City Hall with your by-God papers by 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Peru, do you realize that you are the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your son has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, by George! Not that he could ever be really great, you understand.
Oh, is that so? And in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see all the really great cornet players. Irish. Oh, Clark. Oh, Mendez. Oh, Klein.
But Professor, we are Irish!
No.
Yes.
No!
Yes!
Really? Well, that clinches it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine, fine. That'll be $7 earnest money. No more due until the first installment, payable at the opening of band practice. Ah, thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his band uniform.
His uniform?
Hello there, son. Why, certainly his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine at no cost whatever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow to interfere with the pleasures and excitements of today.
Will I have
A stripe? Oh, certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on both sides. What do you say to that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day even to us. And if you get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anybody can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'd pick you for a hod-carrying, clay-pipe-smoking, harp-playing, Lavorni, pinching, taros, almonds, singing Irishman. Be gone to be jealous where you're from, you by.
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it there. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
What's she now?
Gold medal class of Art 5. How to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Oh, of course, Peru. I knew that name sounded familiar. Well, I've tried to see you since the other night, but every
We
time...
must put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But Marion, the boy might have his father's musical gift. He does have my jaw, you know.
Oh, your husband musical? Well, I'd like to speak with him later. Maybe we could work
So
something...
you burst in on everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion.
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Now, why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Oh, I'm sorry. But that's every more reason why your brother should have something...
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain to him? He's been burning about it for 2 years. As to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks. Well, Miss Peru, I hardly think of them as musical... I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive and I'll be back later in the week.
Oh, Professor Hill, about the boy's measurements, I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
Fine. That's all I need. Now I really must be getting back to the hotel.
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not...
Don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone? He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think of your future. Gary Conservatory, gold medal class of Lot 5.
Now, darling, now, Mama. Surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, self-centered, woman-chasing traveling man who comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
Well, all right. But it's a well-known principle if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in the other, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb to give you the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners. You won't have to talk to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now, what are you up to, and why do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling the Indiana Journal may help me poke some very large holes in Professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of a white knight do you expect to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gammons in that buggy of his with a removable back seat. And I'm not waiting for my knight in shining white armor either.
My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me how. All I want is a plain man. All I want is a modest man, quiet man and gentleman, straightforward and honest man to set me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa. And occasionally he'd ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great. Him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, let me walk with him while the others ride by. Walk and love him till I die. Till I
Zanita, hey, Zanita.
Tommy, help me Farmer's sitting right there in the bank. He gods.
All right, then, make me up for
I
something.
can't. It's Upworth League night. Me too, where?
Footbridge.
See, isn't that what I just said? First the lumberyard and now the footbridge. Mom, where are you gonna meet me next? The Black Hole in Calcutta? My gods.
I only wanted to show you my invention.
What invention?
My music holder for a marching piccolo player. There's still a few minor flaws. See? When you keep it tight enough to hold the music steady, it cuts off the circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you may go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa.
Now, is that the very first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, that's the very first thing I said, or I'll eat hay with the horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials. Morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of in the home.
But George.
The school board is singing up street and down alley. My oldest school is off with some wild kid. And my business has fallen off so far I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
Is who?
His university.
Oh, yes. In fact, that's the only thing I can get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of '05.
If you'll just take some time to read a little bit about the conservatory, I don't think you have to look much further. It's on page...
The Wells Fargo Watch is coming up the depot. Wells Fargo what?
At this hour of day? Nonsense. Delightfully so. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instruments.
The band instruments.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. Oh, please, are you before me? Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got up to get the sugar on my birthday. Montgomery Ward sent me a backup and a cross-cut song.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. A bring it's a prize of COD.
Or dishes.
Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be. Something very, very special now. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up, coming down the street. Oh, don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells
for the courthouse square.
You put the Wells Fargo wagon in the common, now I don't know how I can ever wait to see. Be something for someone who better not relent for McCarthy. Something special, just for me.
Here you are, Winthrop. Men, you will each receive individual instruction in due course. Meanwhile, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da.
La-di-da, la-di-da. Sister, sister, isn't this the most gumpus song you ever saw? I never think I saw something and see something so gumpus as this gumpus song thing. Oh, sister!
Round one for you, Mr. Hill. But I better hear some by God tooting out them horns in a pretty short order. Or you'll find yourself in front of the grand jury over at the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
Come, George. Tempest Fusions.
You watch your phraseology. Run along if you have to. I need to get something from the library about that book. Thank you.
The Ladies' Dance Committee meets Tuesday nights at the high school.
Now let's have a go at our Grecian urns. 1 Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And a fountain. Trickle, 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 trickle. Splendid, ladies! I predict that our Del Soft display will be the highlight of the ice cream sociable. Now, gentlemen, if you're ready. And girls, remember, don't make me tell you again. Always keep your face to the audience. All right, Mr. Dunlop.
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup, it's you all the way into town.
It's your sweet melody that gets me up.
And it's your cartoon gold dear that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you, it's you.
Smile, girl, smile.
It's you. Oh yes, it's you.
Mr. Washburn, we're in town to 5 more minutes.
If you think you can pull these kids off, go ahead.
Start it up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new moves the professor taught us.
All right, kids, what'll it be?
The Shapoopy!
Now, one who kiss on the very first day is usually a hussy, and a woman who kiss on the second time out is anything but fussy. But a woman who waits up the third time around and who loves feet on the ground, she's a girl who's flying style. She's in Shapoopy, Shapoopy, Shapoopy. The girl is often get Shapoopy, Shapoopy, Shapoopy.
But you can't leave her yet.
Walk her once to space, and you walk around twice to make certain. Once more in the flower garden, she'll never get sorted. You beg pardon. Do, re,
Your daughter and I have been going steady. Behind your back.
Why you?
I mean, we'd rather be doing it in front of your back, but...
Do what? Never mind.
Zanita's scared of you, sir. But I'm not. I should think you'd hate to have your own daughter scared of you. Gilly Clyde.
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, I'll buy that horse whip you till hell won't have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means peep.
Yes. Now get out of this public building.
I've got as much right in a public building as anybody.
Right. Hard to get any right around here. Aiding and abetting the swindling activities of that spellbinding symbol salesman? You know what I see written all over you? Reform school! Now get out! Get out, you old kid, you!
Oh, Papa! It's Capulets like you that create fraud in the marketplace. He
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. You, Laylee!
Yes, George.
You tend to your dance.
My dance.
Oh, little Zanita, taking it with wild kids from the wrong side of town.
Mayor Shade, if we could only make you understand.
Well, you can't. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that book you gave me cover to cover for a week now and still haven't found a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please...
I'll settle your hatch as soon as I get these premises off of my oldest girl. Yes.
All right, but in the meantime, I want you to know that I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. He's got the confidence of every kid in this town. You'll be standing in line waiting to shake his hand by time our band plays its first concert.
By time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on the count of the broken legs I'll get from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you something. My fine feathered... Never mind! Oliver! Tracy! Yours! Olin! I want this man's references, and I want them tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. Slicker in a Mississippi sturgeon.
Do you mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers, or get him in jail! Couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a button hook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shade has behaved abominably. I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no. Men can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man, only 500. Unfortunately, of course, the mayor was already pretty mad on account of his billiard parlor. Now, I don't know, maybe a recommendation from a musical authority such as yourself would help. But I couldn't ask you to do such a thing.
Why, Professor,
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. And I've been wanting to talk to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet. Mother of pearl keys.
Yes, I'm sure it's fine. But you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, he made a few experimental blats, I guess you'd say.
Yes, blacks.
And he sings the Minuet and Dee-dee-da, la-dee-da, la-dee-da, almost constantly, but he never touches the cornet.
Well, you see...
He says you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well...
He tells me he has some think system, where if he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor!
No, Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary method, I'll admit. But so is Galileo's conception of the heavens. Columbus's conception of the egg. Globe. And Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I mustn't discuss these things in public, but if you'll allow me to call... When may I call?
Why, any night this week.
Please join our dance committee. You look so dear tonight, Professor Hill. You dance like a fairy princess, with a moon before your floor, and a golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see. We know that you will soon unfold, giving heart and purest gold here, where woman's heart should be. Fairy princess, moving floor, golden shimmer, silver shoes, now unfold, heart and gold, here, where woman's heart should be. The professor told us to read those books, and we simply adore them all. Trust
Sorry, Professor, but we got our orders.
You see, we all been deputized.
Yes. Congratulations. Let's see now. You know, all week I've tried to give you fellas my references and credentials, but every time you seem to get off the subject somehow. Now I have just what you need up in my hotel room. Take me a second.
Sorry, afraid we'll have to come with you.
Yes. Well, let's see if I have my key. What's this? A testimonial by Madame Leamy, the only female bassoon player ever to appear on the Red Pass circuit. That was her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline, Lyda Rose Quackenbush.
Can I see that?
Oh, you'll never forget the name, Lyda Rose. Same as the old song. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose. About 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lyda Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lyda Rose, oh, won't you be mine? Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose.
Dream of love, dream of that, dream of a that might have been true. I love you, oh yes I love you, and I'll bravely tell you that only when we dream again, sweet and low, sweet and low, how sweet that memory, how long ago, forever, oh yes, forever, will I ever tell you,
Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, to get the sun back in the sky. Lyda Rose, now everyone knows that about
that might have been true. I love
ding
you,
dong ding,
oh yes
I
I love
can hear the chapel bell
and
chime.
I'll bravely tell you that only when we
Suggestion,
dream
I'll pop the
again,
question. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lyda Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not fancy or fine.
will I ever tell
Lyda
you?
Rose, oh, won't you be mine? Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda
Will you ever stop arguing with yourself? Will you ever tell him, won't you ever tell him? Oh yes, no, up fiddlesticks. Just open up your mouth and let it come out. Now, Mama! Now, nothing. If he ever comes to go again, you'll see him alone. And if you haven't the gumption to tell him how you feel... Tell him? Well, there's nothing wrong with a lady like him. Mama! Where have you been? Fishing. Fishing? With who? You mean Professor Hill? Mm-hmm. And look, I still have some words left. Did you have a good time? Scarlet. He told me all about his hometown here in Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. He also told me about how math and the essence in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again. Gary,
around here somewhere.
The student's home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, crummy. I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fella Hill forming a boys' band.
Yes.
Well, don't let him worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling too bit from the rear. That's why I got some shin. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish it was 20. Wish I could spend 5 minutes on you, girly girl.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cow. Anvil salesman. But right now, I'm just out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Mr. Cal, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's course cover. That man has been the raspberry seed of my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not going to spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? Didn't you see right through him? He's no more professor than he is.
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director.
Whoa, fine director. Have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
You'll just listen to me for a minute.
I'd like to. I'd like to do more than that. I sure got the inclination, but I gotta get back on that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite with somebody on the way to the depot.
You'll never catch the train at the depot. You have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I gotta leave word, and I can tell you're not the one to leave it with.
But Mr. Cowell, you don't even know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No, I meant I don't know you, and...
Yes, I need more time anyway.
I mean, as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? I missed that train and I'll get fired. And I gotta leave word about that fella Hill.
Leave word with me.
Now that you're team type, how do I know you'll deliver these letters?
Try me. There's a train, I'll run for it.
Why you double deal little? Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county in Illinois, and he's taken away from every one of them. And that's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teachers he's cozied up to keep their mouths shut. You haven't heard the last of me, girly girl.
At the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Not a rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Marianne. Not a rose,
Oh, Professor Hill.
Mrs. Peru, the top of the evening. Miss Marion?
Why don't you and Marion just come up and satire? I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we sit, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Did I? I didn't mean anything.
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting your invitation for anything more than academic enlightenment. The think system? I've been by your house to try to explain it to you a time or two this week, but every time there seemed to be people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Sparrows and several of the ladies.
I'm glad. Wouldn't want anybody beating my time. You wouldn't. No, ma'am. Well, it's evidently not the convenient night. I'll see you at the sociable later.
Professor Hill, is it true that you've had 100... What I'm trying to say is...
Yes?
Is it true that you've developed a think system?
Oh, think system. Yes. It's really quite simple. As simple as whistling. Nobody has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You only have to think a note for it to come out clearly here. Now just try this yourself before you ask any more questions.
I take your word.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say me dozens, even 100.
Well...
Have they all been as fascinated as I have with the think system?
Some more, some less. One young lady thought up the same system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Please don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. You must have many more important things to do than explain the think system to me.
Can't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't believe everything you hear. After all, one even hears rumors about Librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me an assured job so that Mother Winthrop and I can have some security. Now surely you don't believe...
Of course not. That's exactly what I'm saying. And why do you think people start these rumors?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy mostly, I guess.
Jealousy mostly starts rumors about traveling salesmen. What have you heard?
Oh, nothing about you personally, just generally.
Oh, what have you heard? Generally.
Just that. But of course it stands to reason that disappointment and jealousy can lead to, I mean, take you for instance, your attentions to customers, and well, teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, honestly, mightn't they?
Why?
And so you say if another salesman, or somebody, were jealous, well, it could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Of course.
This proves you shouldn't believe everything you hear, doesn't it? I mean, if you discuss things...
Now, Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit, your knees bend and all.
Well, we could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could sit on a large hollow log over at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk?
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't. Some other time. Maybe tomorrow?
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows, and you find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. No, I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
So would I.
Footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama! What, dear? I just told Professor Hill I'll meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes. Glory be, and the saints be praised, it works. What does? I've been using the think system on you from the parlor.
The uniforms have arrived. The kids are in them already. Oh, the people are gonna be screaming for music if those kids show up at the sociable.
Yeah.
Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's trying to keep the kids together at least. We're intending to hold a practice over at the lumberyard.
All right, Mars, go get the rig.
I got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:40 from the junction.
It's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to try to whirl around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap, you go ahead. But I'm...
Listen, Mars, I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Mary, you're late.
You said 15 minutes.
I meant to say that, well, I'd say you were I'd say about 26 years late. It took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella.
To tell you the truth, it almost took me longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't believe I've been selling you anything?
No, I don't. You've given me something, and that's why I've come.
I don't recall giving you anything.
But you have. Something beautiful. And that's why I've decided to come. Please don't be afraid that I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. I know there have been many ports of call, and there will be many more. But that's no reason for me not to be grateful for what you've left behind for me. There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. There were
There's some things that you don't know about me.
Hey, Greg!
Excuse me. I'm expecting a cable from Hector Barrios. This could be it. Now what?
Who's the salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
You nuts? I didn't know I was going to be able to leave tonight. I had to keep her off balance, didn't I? I told you already.
Well, she's so far off balance now you couldn't tell her from a catboat in a hurricane.
Listen, Buster Brown, I've come up through the ranks on this skirmish, and I'm not resigning without my commission.
But Greg, you can't get anywhere right out here on the footbridge.
Look, there's a place over by Madison Park near the Sociable that makes the footbridge look like an old ladies' home. Now beat it. Go get the rig. Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now where were we?
You're about to tell me something I didn't know about you?
Oh. Well, we really don't have to go into that right now, do we?
No, you don't. Or ever for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately. But she did plenty when he first got here.
No? About what?
About Professor Harold Hill. Gary Conservatory, gold medal class of Odd 5. Harold, there was no conservatory in Odd 5.
Well, there certainly
Because
was.
the town wasn't even built until Odd 6. That's inconceptual.
You knew all the time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you got here. I tore this out of the journal. It was originally intended to use against you, but now I give it to you with all of my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you... Why, you little... With 110 cornets right behind, then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I oompah'd up and down the square.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our star is shining, its brightest light.
There were horns of every shape. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be.
Well, 110 cornets made the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
Greg, this guy's crazy. He's going all over town spilling everything.
I'll say I'm crazy. Missed my train, probably lost my job. But I got you now, Phil. And you'll pay. While you be in the clink right now for work for that piano teacher. I told her all about you. You know what she does? Really guides me around until I can't get to shape. Why that dried up man hungry dog.
Why you get out of here, I'll kill you, you dirty mouth!
You big bully. You big blow off. I'll stay in this town until you get yours up, down, through, and sideways. Why you never even knew the territory.
Here's your stuff, Greg. The rig's right in the alley. Come on, hurry up.
Stop! Stop! Listen to this man.
Why, you gullible green rascals. Can't you see you're being swindled right out of your IT right now, this minute? There's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. Yeah, I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket.
Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister. And yours, ma'am. And yours, little lady. Ever since the first moment he came to this town, there's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band. There never has been any band. And there never will be any band. And if you don't chase this man down like a mad dog right now, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now you believe me.
What are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back? I want it high.
Find it. And when you catch him, bring him back here. Trail the low road. Look by the creek. Try the mill. Back in the privy.
lips.
Oh, I had to see you, Mary.
You don't mean a word, not a word. Please go, Harold, please.
Greg. He's not anywhere around here. Let's try down by the creek.
Winthrop!
Wait a minute here, son.
I'm not your son, man, go me!
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
You want to tell the truth anyways!
I would too.
Why not?
I would too. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you big leg?
Yes.
You're a dirty rotten crook?
Yes.
Are we doing that? Yeah, First City.
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? No, I'm bigger than you. So you might as well stand here and get it all. Quit wiggling. There are two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so since the beginning. That's why I wanted you in the band. So you quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, it's really none of your business, now that I think of it.
Would you never come to River City? No, you don't, Winthrop. Sister, you believe it? I believe everything he ever said. It all happened in the lights, the flags, the colors, and the symbols. Where was all that? The way that every kid in this town walked around here all summer, looked and acted. And the parents, too. His mama wished she never come to River City. But you do, don't you? No, Winthrop. Please go, Harold. Go on, Professor, hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
For the first time in my life, I got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all, till there was you.
Greg! They're here! Come on, that way! That way!
Come on, Feather, that way! That way!
Which is why I interrupted the program at this point. Rest assured this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this time. Yes. And always remember, River citizens, I can only remind you that I did everything in my power to prevent this start happening from happening. Fourscore.
That professor has collected nearly $300 for uniforms just tonight.
We haven't even seen any uniforms yet.
He's a slippery one, I told you.
I haven't seen my boy or his uniform since just after supper.
He's a kidnapper.
A fine situation here.
Fourscore. Just a minute. Virtue has triumphed! The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill! And if there are those who, as I've heard, are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay!
Well, I have to think there should be some of you who can forget your everlasting Iowa chip-on-the-shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? Surely there ought to be some of you who should be grateful for what he's brought, and if so, I think you'd want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's anyone here who thinks this man Hill should not be tarred and feathered, let him raise his hand. Lily! And the rest of you, standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you people forgotten how you paid for expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children will be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?
Think, men. Think.